Let's go to the second part, which is the building a diverse team. Let's talk about this. How can we actually build, based on the truth about diversity we already know, what is the process of really build a diverse
I,
team?
I can talk about my experience, of course.
Of
For sure,
course,
if
yeah.
you look into manuals of HR or something like that, maybe they're going to tell you something different. Okay, and what we have to be clear is that doesn't exist a magic recipe. Okay, this is not Harry Potter that you said Expelliarmus and then suddenly goes in the direction you want. So, uh, based on my own experience, okay, the first thing that you need to define is which kind of diversity you need. Okay, what I mean by that, let's use an example. Imagine that you are a car maker, okay, and you have one department that is manufacturing the powertrain, and another department that is designing the car body. Okay, most likely if you have a biologist, a lawyer, a architect, an industrial designer, and an artist in the team, they will not contribute with any kind of interesting diversity or beneficial diversity to the team manufacturing the powertrain. Okay, so most likely in the team manufacturing the powertrain, you want to have all of them mechanical engineers, so diversity related with background zero. However, you want to have people with experience in manufacturing powertrains in China, another one manufacturing for aircrafts, another one manufacturing for submarines. It's the kind of diversity we're interested in. If you are talking about the design group, maybe actually it's interesting for you to have a lawyer, a biologist, and a top model in the group. Maybe. Okay. So first you have to define which kind of diversity you are looking for. You want to have a diversity of personalities. You want to have a diversity of backgrounds. You want to have a diversity of life experience. You want to have a diversity of beliefs. You want to have a combination of all of that. So what is exactly the kind of different approach you want to bring, the kind of diversity you need in that moment. Okay. So this is the first thing, because otherwise we are ended up with, as we discussed, with the United Colors of Benetton. So something that looks very diverse. Maybe you have people from 19 different nationalities, but actually they're not providing the diversity you need. They are just a mixture of people that, yes, it's a mixture, it's a diverse mixture, but not the diversity you need. The second thing, is understanding what you're lacking, right? It's like every place. Once you have defined the kind of diversity you need, you have to define where are the components for achieving this diversity, what are you lacking. For that, I mean, if we're talking about background, it seems to be very easy, right? Because if you're looking for different backgrounds, the only thing that you can request is, okay, show me your master's degree or show me your studies, show me whatever. Okay, so it's hardcore knowledge. When we are talking about personalities, there is a lot of surveys out there, okay, for an assessments to define the different kind of personalities you need. The most used ones, I think, that especially for projects, is the Myers-Briggs and the Hogan. But also it's important to note something you also hear tell me, that one problem that we have with the search of diversity and using these kind of questionnaires is that these questionnaires are for we are people. Okay, for we are people, that stands for Western, educated, from industrialized countries, from rich countries, okay, and democratic. Okay, so all the studies about diversity and all the theory about diversity has been raised on board in places like that. Actually, the diversity studies are not very diverse. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is one of the problems. When you are trying to build up diversity in a team, you need to understand that you're building up diversity from your own box. That is that you are usually from a weird country. Okay? And this is when we go to the third step. Okay? The third step is making this conscious effort to bring people that is different. Okay? And for that, you can look for the people with diverse life experiences, or you can actually force the HR department, and this is one of the things that I have always been doing, forcing the HR department when they're presenting people for promotions, or they're presenting people for new hirings or internal hirings, at least in the typical 3 candidates that you get, because it's very standard, you get 2 or 3 candidates, forcing them to put one that is ticking most of the boxes, but is not the perfect cultural fit. What I mean by that, what you're trying to avoid is having a perfect cultural fit. What you want is someone that is providing something to your culture. Okay? Someone that is adding up, not just another one that is exactly the same. Okay, when the people they're talking about thinking out of the box, the first thing that you have to realize is that many of us we have very similar boxes. Okay, so so nobody's going to think out of the box. Okay, so they have the box. The box can be bigger, can be round, can be a star, whatever, but everybody's going to be in their box. So we're trying to bring these people that has a box with different things inside, things that are unexpected, things that when they're thinking, it's not that they're thinking outside of their box, is that it's outside of your box. So they are bringing another perspective and they're reaching you. Okay, so instead of looking for someone that has the right cultural fit, you have to bring someone that has the right cultural contribution. Okay, and important also is that when you are doing that, you are bringing someone that is adding up, not detracting. What I mean is that if you are trying to build a team, if you are starting from scratch, maybe you can be more extreme because you are setting the team from the beginning. Maybe you can go for extremes. But if you are changing a team to be more diverse, don't bring someone too different because then you are destroying completely the cohesion of the team. And if you are doing that, you are also destroying the performance. Okay, so the first three steps for me are clear. Is the same that you will be doing with any other challenge. Is define what you want, do the gap analysis, and make a conscious effort to close this gap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you can have many other topics around, many other things that will be interesting to discuss about. Okay, how you can ensure that you don't have pitfalls. Okay, so what is a standard pitfall that you have? One is, as I mentioned, bringing someone that is too extreme.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want something different, something diverse, but not something that is opposed completely, and that is destroying what you have at the moment. Okay, another thing is the topic that you want to promote the dissension. You want the people to dissent. Okay, but dissent and just complain, they're two different things. Okay, so you have to be sure that we are not confusing that. Okay, don't confuse the cultural fit with bringing extremist people. Okay, and well, don't confuse. Sorry, someone is calling me. 1 second. I
That's
cannot
all right.
avoid it. No, it's in mute, but it's my wife, so you know it goes through. Another pitfall that we have to discuss is ensuring that we don't have quotas. Okay, when you are building up a team and you are building the team based on quotas, I want to have this percentage of girls, this percentage of other gender, this percentage of other race, this percentage of cultural diversity in the sense of people from different countries, is wrong. You have to measure the performance of your team and the success of diversity by the performance of the team, meaning the number of deliveries or original ideas they have and things like that, not by these KPIs. Today, what is happening is that most of the people, when they're building up the team, they sit down with the HR department and they're asking the HR department, tell me how I can build a diverse team. And they are starting with, okay, let's see how many girls are you getting in the team, okay? How many old people, how many young people, how many people from this race or the other race? It's not that. This is maybe it's going to produce a marginal diversity, but it's going to be completely by chance. Okay, so try to avoid that. Okay, and remember always that diversity has an intent. Okay, so even if you are building up a team using these steps that I was mentioning before, and especially the topic of really focusing more in the cultural contribution instead of the cultural fit, think that this is going to change over time. Okay, the intent of your diversity is not going to be constant. So the team is going to be evolving over the time, and you have to change constantly the team to be sure that the diversity you have is matching your intent. So you are building, but you are rebuilding all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's when you talk about this, I think one of the things which come in mind is I don't know if you have watched this movie. It was movie for children in 90s. It was called, I think, Voltron or something like this. When there was, I mean, kind of what I remember was that there were 5 different superheroes, like kind of, and when they were going together, they were building a bigger superhero who was going and beating the evil or something like this. And it's all one of them became the head, the other 2 became the arms, the torso, the body. So when they were together, they were kind of super diverse, like you said, because they were different part of the body of this bigger superhero. And
Yes.
if you don't have the left arm, it's gonna be bad, because you can't, you
Yes.
cannot have two heads. You have one head and two arms or
Correct.
something. So that's exactly what I hear from you, is that uh, what sticks the team together. Definitely, I'm gonna talk more about this later, but I just gonna share it here. It's they have common principles or values or something,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to diversity, then you want to have diverse capabilities, and that is gonna help them to
Correct.
really be stronger together. Because if you get 5 people or 10 people with the same capabilities, you're not having a team.
No,
You're
no, you
having
have one person there.
one. Yeah,
You have
exactly.
one. Okay, you
you
have one
you
with
don't know
a
that.
different gender or different color or something like that, but you have one.
You
Okay.
have one person,
Yes, I mean you
and
don't
when
need
it,
two hands. You need one right hand and one left arm. Okay, so you need both left and right. And if when you're trying to, and it's very important when you are a manager. Usually, whether you like or not, diverse managers they tend usually to build diverse teams, but it's not so easy because at the end you are always, let's say, more comfortable with the things that are more similar to you. Okay, you have to make a conscious effort to really build something that is not you. Okay, so if I
yeah,
have a job interview, I know who is the person that I'm going to like the most in the of the three before they start. Okay, because I know the one
how
that is
how
going
do you
to
know
have
that?
a specific
How?
no, because the one that is going to be like me, I'm sure I'm going to like more. Okay, so this is where it's important that when you are having any kind I mean, this kind of selection, whether it's internal, external, or it's for a progression, okay, for a
Yeah,
promotion, build diverse people into the panel. Don't do the selection yourself with the guy of HR. Have five
yeah,
people there, and try to be sure that HR is bringing a couple or you're bringing another couple, and try to be as diverse as different. So they're bringing different opinions. You know, in one of the companies I was working before, Vestas, is a Danish company. For me, it was very surprising the first time that I was doing a job interview for someone in my team, because I got there, my PA, I was okay, but it's for a senior director position. Why my PA is here for the interview? Well, she's bringing the opinion. She's actually going to work with this person also, so she should be bringing her opinion about if this is a good fit for the people working there. Okay, I got a person from the workshop. Okay, but I mean, this is a blue collar. What the hell is doing he here? Well, this person has to work also with blue collars. True. So we need the opinion of them. In general, they brought a diverse group of people that I would never thought before that was needed. And yes, we select a candidate that was not the one that initially I liked it most. But after hearing all the people, I was actually, you're right. So I like this guy much more because he's more like me. Okay, but the right one is this one that actually
yes.
is not like me.
Wow,
Okay,
wow.
but it's something
Yeah,
that you cannot do. We all have bias. Okay, I can tell you that when I'm in panels or things like that, the first thing that I see, especially with nationality, I don't know why the Spaniards we really like the Spaniard one, the Spanish one, the German one, the Danish one was excellent. It's like okay, no, but it's always happening, and suddenly you have the Spanish, a Danish, and a German in that panel, and you bring a Chinese, and we are looking to each other like, what is this person? We don't understand what it is. Okay,
yes,
so then
yes.
you have to bring this diversity, forcing it, and especially, I said, ensuring that when you have a panel of candidates, at least one of them is someone that is not evident, that is ticking most of the boxes, but especially the one of cultural conformity and cultural fit, not exactly, not 1,000 miles away, not exactly. And ensure that you are ticking also this box of weird, ensuring that out of these people that you're interviewing, at least one of them is not ticking all the boxes of Western educated, industrialized country, rich and democratic. Okay?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if I take examples of previous teams that I have had, the last team that I had was diverse because there were no other choice. If you have 2,200 people in a team in 20 different countries, they are diverse per se. Okay, so the
Yeah.
question there is how to manage and ensure that this diversity is delivering results. And we want to build a small team, as it happens to me once in Denmark, that I have to build a team of around 20 people. Okay, at the end, I think that there was only one repeating nationality, but it was not by design. It was because we're looking for the best people with the best cultural contribution to the team. Okay, and then resulted in having this amount of people from different nationalities.
Yeah.
Okay, so it depends on how you're building the team. When we're building this team, we're looking for that, for the best contribution from the cultural point of view. And we ended up with an extremely diverse team that for several years was the best performing in all the company. It was the quality department that useless in the sense of originality, right? When you're asking anyone about the quality department, they're not expecting that you're innovative. They are not expecting that you have any kind of original thought. Actually, it was the most original team in the company, the most innovative team in the company. They were coming with things completely different from what anyone was thinking. It was the diversity. It was not because we have any kind of magic recipe for bringing the most brilliant people. We're bringing people, some brilliant, some less brilliant, but in general, a very diverse team.